Greetings, greetings, greetings. You are now tuned into the vault. Trust Christian own nothing, control everything. Just want to thank you for tuning in live, listening to replay. Always appreciate everybody that tunes in live, listens in the replay for all the episodes for years and years and years. Everyone just listening to all the episodes, the vault, different episodes. But definitely appreciate everybody that always tunes in live or listens in the replay. Everybody that reaches out for consultations, everybody that's gone through trustee training. We have so many trustees that have gone through trustee training throughout the years. So we know a lot of trustees go back. They go on their way. They go through the training and they go on their way. And they always still love that we do the episodes. They email us all the time saying, hey, can you go over this? They always email back saying thank you. We get trustees going through all the time saying thank you for the episodes that you still do. We appreciate these conversations in the public that you do because it just gives us more content to digest. What is it that we're doing when we say we're going to get the consultation and they're going to, what are they going to do? They're going to say, hey, we get the consultation, we're looking to go private. Everybody wants to go private. So we appreciate everybody that tunes in live, listens to replay, trustees, and otherwise. These episodes are actually made for the trustees. A lot of people, they end up going back and saying, hey, well, who do you really do the episodes for? We do them for the trustees because trustees, this is just a way to eliminate unnecessary questions in a consultation where you come in and you want to do a consultation, all right, I want to eliminate this question. Well, we're going to eliminate this question today. Declare your nationality. So this is the Vault episode 271, Declare Your Nationality. This has been a movement, actually. It's some stuff you can Google over the internet, unfortunately. You can Google it over the internet, declaring your nationality or declare your nationality, whatever you want to call it. So people come to the vault all the time. They come and they ask these questions about nationality, whether they're on the trustee side or not. So we're gonna answer that question today because it comes always in the form of a question. Well, Trust Christian, what about declaring your nationality? So today we're gonna talk about this because so many people are trying to avoid being a part of the world's largest empire right now. It's interesting. Like people are trying to. They talk about the dollar going down. They talk about gold going out of the roof. And ladies and gentlemen, gold is still a peg in a hedge. It actually became more individualized when you look at gold. Gold is what it really is. It's a commodity. They try to say it's a precious metal. That means that it actually has industrial value just as much as it has its luster, which is its look. Gold has it has its luster, but nevertheless, gold is still a commodity. It can be utilized. When you guys look at when you look at an astronaut's shield for their face, their helmet, and they have like a gold reflection, ladies and gentlemen, they actually put gold film inside of astronauts' visors, because it's built into those type of devices. So it's actually a high-end usage for it, especially going into space. It can handle a lot of satellites are actually gold covered. Oh man, Trust Christian, what do you mean? They're sending gold to space? Yes, they're sending gold to space. People are sending gold to space because it can handle the heat. Traveling, it is actually utilized in the communications tools. Gold is sitting right there in your cell phone. So it has, once again, industrial use. The precious metals, platinum, palladium, rhodium, silver, and gold. Those are industrial metals as much as they are, the luster of look, as they call it. So, people have come with many different type of terms throughout the years. Oh, I gotta declare my nationality, Trust Christian. That's gonna change my life. That's gonna make everything change. And we have sat at this table now for years of wealth accumulation, asset protection through asset separation, separating your living self from your from commercial activities and things of that nature. So we're going to get, what does declaring your nationality, or if you declare your nationality, how does that look in commerce today, or in general? Because we get these questions all the time about, oh, trust Christian, if I declare my nationality, is that the freedom ticket? And ladies and gentlemen, we're here to say it's nothing more than a gentleman or a lady. What we do, we give notice. We give notice. Who are you giving notice to? So people say, oh, Trust Christian, hold on, how far does it go? It doesn't go any further than what we said. Trust Christian said at the vault, declaring your nationality is just a notice. It doesn't make a hemorrhage of money fall in people's pockets. Oh, it doesn't make someone diplomatic immune. Oh, you thought you were gonna get diplomatic immunity because you declared something? Because people declared something? Oh, that's where we are nowadays. People think that if they declare their nationality, they're going to be diplomatic immune. This is the thought process. Once again, we'll make you aware that, Trust Christian, we've been on the internet for a while. So we've seen these guys make their transition from their temples. And then they had private meetings. And now they're on the internet. And they're getting people to do the same thing that they did before. Put people on notice. That's fair. Give people a part of their community. That's fair. But when it comes to them giving someone diplomatic immunity, first of all, you're not doing that in a private fringe group. First of all, private groups don't have they don't use those terms, diplomatic immunity. And if they do, they're not utilizing it in the manner in which the notice is being given. See, diplomatic immunity is one of those things you apply for. You're just not born with it. Oh, you think you're born with it because of your nationality? No, people know this. You're not born with diplomatic immunity because of your nationality. Appreciate Texas for tuning in live, listening to the replay. Shout out to Texas for tuning in live. If you're listening live, feel free to type into the chat where you're listening from. City, state, country, whatever. So, they're not diplomatic immune. Then, these people have been on the internet, but they really done had this nationality movement since Noble Drew Ali. That's just the facts. It's been early 50s before. They got these people telling me, oh, if you declare your nationality, are you going to get a hemorrhage of cash? Are you going to get boatloads of money? Oh, no. Then they have another shout out to New Orleans, Louisiana for tuning in live, listening to replay. Appreciate New Orleans. Shout out New Orleans. So, somebody says, oh, well, Trust Christian, we got to declare our nationality. We're not a crayon. Okay, that's fair. You think we can't have these civilized conversations? We can have these civilized conversations, but they didn't come with money. So we're wasting our time because time is money. That's what the vault's about. It's about business. It's about commerce. Yes, we may do business with other nationalities, quote unquote, and other cultures. But at the end of the day, we're very aware of that at the vault. Somebody else just woke up out of their so-called slumber because they were asleep because they went to public school. Is that what it is? Is that what it is? Somebody went to public school, so now they're going to say, oh, well, I'm not a crayon, Trust Christian. And if I declare my nationality, that's going to make me untouchable. No, it's not, because you all know people that declare nationality and they get touched because they're doing illegal activities. They're engaging in what we would almost call, and it's called defrauding the government. And that's one thing you just don't do. Where are these people going to go for protection when you declared your nationality? So look, let's just get this very clear. It's nothing wrong with declaring your nationality. But what the pretense of this thought process is in the marketplace from the vaults talking to trustees. Somebody had a great question. Feel free to type your questions into the chat about this subject matter, which we have no problem. That's why we're here to do this episode. How about do not detain plates? We'll get to that question. Where are people in 2020 with the pretense that, oh, even that question, how do you get around the do not detain plates? What do you mean don't detain you? If you leave the Indian reservation, whose jurisdiction are you in? Hold on, what do you mean, Trust Christian? You're in the state's jurisdiction. The reservation is a hole in the ground. So when they leave the reservation, oh, they're going to go where? Into what's considered modern day United States, modern day utopia. So you're not going to just leave off the reservation and say, oh, I can commit crimes and do all this other stuff. Maybe there's jurisdictional issues there, but they're not going to detain you. They're going to take your ass back to the reservation and say, get off of our spot because we have law enforcers on our side. Oh, really? Hold on. So they can't be in the United States doing bad things from the reservation? No. So can you declaring your nationality allow you to do bad things in a foreign jurisdiction? No. Oh, okay. So you're not diplomatic immunity. If they want to kick you out, they actually can kick you out. Where are you going to go? The modern day Morocco? Do you see Morocco as an empire in the world? No. You would say China is more of an empire than Morocco. They're still countries. You would say that Brazil is more of a powerful country in the world right now than Morocco. Qatar is more powerful than Morocco. Russia is more powerful than Morocco. But somehow, people got this information. It's one of those things that people on the public side look down on people that actually want to follow through with this thought process, because they say that there's a thought process that's being perpetrated that you're separate but equal, and that's not true. The Native Americans are not separate but equal. They're just separate. They're not equal. You can't come into the United States jurisdiction and do whatever you want. It doesn't work that way. So just because you declare your nationality doesn't mean that you can just get over. Well, here we go. We had a trustee come to us recently and say, well, what about the I self law and master? You're right. You need to be governing yourself and your affairs. You need to travel where people have the same common customs and usages of culture. Some cultures don't allow usury. They don't allow interest to be charged. Some cultures don't allow a lot of things. China doesn't allow Facebook. Hold on, this is the largest website in the world and it doesn't have 1 billion people giving access to it. In China, no. But they're still one of the largest tech players and trading at high multiples on the stock market right now. Yeah, a marketing company. Modern day media. So man, they're allowed to put bad information on their media platform? Yeah. Why do you think the government's coming after them for censoring any information? Because anything can go on Facebook. Anything can go on the internet, right? Right. So some people put some information to confuse another generation of colored people. That's what happened. Another generation of people have been given a load of shite. Oh, Trust Christian, what are you guys saying at the vote? We shouldn't declare our nationality? We didn't say anything was wrong with it. We're just telling you what it is and what you're going to come to know before or after you do it. Now, most of the time, after you do the declare your nationality, they say you're supposed to go capture a what? A birth certificate. This is the spewing of the ignorance on the internet. It doesn't stop there. They got stories out here in versions that you go through the Bible. They got stories and versions out here that you go read this book. They got a series of these books. It's called the Redemption Manual. Now you're redeeming yourself. It sounds like a fucking religion. It sounds like a cult. Oh shit. Are you serious, Trust Christian? It's a cult? It's a religion? It's something that I'm trying to get away from? Shout out to Memphis for tuning in live, listening to replay. Appreciate Memphis, Tennessee. If you don't know what that is, shout out to Barbecue, Memphis, Tennessee, Ribs, Tennessee. So, okay, Trust Christian, where are we going with this? It sounds like it's all over the place because every process is different. When you went through public school, wasn't that the same? Yeah, 12 years. That's it. If you can skip a grade, great. But you're going through 12 years. What? Hold on. So the education there is different than the fringe group of, well, you got to declare your nationality and your life will be better. No, it's not. Did it put any dollars in your pocket? Did it put 1 penny in your pocket? We're asking the fringe group to show that it puts a penny in your pocket. Hold on, Negroes. Did it give you reparations? Hold on, Trust Christian. I'm thinking that this is going to get me that. Is it not? Trust Christian, what do you mean? Am I not going to go through this process of getting my birth certificate back in my hands? Oh, now you're going to get your birth certificate back in your hands, right? So it's yours. See, in trustee training, we learn own nothing, control everything. You don't own the birth certificate. It's a commercial security instrument. We're aware of that. That's what the fringe group says. It's a commercial instrument. It's a financial instrument. And it says United States at the top of it. So now it means it's in their jurisdiction. But I'm trying to recapture my soul, Trust Christian. You're trying to recapture your soul? You're trying to tell us that you think you know that the United States is a corporation and you're still trying to recapture your soul from a corporation? Hold on. Some of us are spiritual and some of us are soulless. So now we see who are the soulless ones. Okay. Right. That's how deep it gets. It gets you emotionally caught up. Oh man, I'm trying to get you out of 300 years of oppression. Just declare your nationality. Remember, they didn't move everybody. Some of us were on this side of the rock already. We were supposed to stay on the reservation, but we didn't want to stay on it. We came off it. And now we're off it. And we still don't like it in utopia, where we can take out debt and live in houses that we call, what do they say? They live in houses that they say they own, but it's really got a financial encumbrance upon it. Oh, okay. Declare your nationality. That got you some free land, though, right? It didn't get you a penny, and it didn't even get you no free land. Appreciate Baltimore for tuning in live. Shout out to Baltimore. Be more. Tuning in live, listen to replay. Baltimore, Maryland. If you don't know where that is, Baltimore, Maryland. Not too many Baltimores, so if you know Baltimore, you usually know it as Baltimore, Maryland. But Baltimore, Maryland. Shout out. Feel free to type into the chat. You guys can type into the chat questions about this declaring your nationality stuff. Oh, this is about having a conversation. Because at the end of the day, declare your nationality is not something we recommend our trustees to do. We don't even see, trustees are focused on protecting, preserving, growing assets. That's what trustees are charged to do. See, they take on a different mantle of leadership. They're not into the emotional leadership. They're into the factual leadership, which is dictation through the numbers. See, the numbers don't lie. Men and women do, but the numbers don't. See, the numbers say you got to grow your family estate. Hold on, declaring my nationality, Trust Christian, that puts me back in control of the estate. Yeah, that means you're a trustee. You don't own it. So you don't own a house. You stop speaking a certain way. You invest in your private education. The private family trust invest in your private education. Why would it not be invested in your family, your education as a trustee? Anybody can learn what they need to learn as a trustee. Okay, so now we're getting on the topic of nationality because is it Trust Christian in the vault? Do we still do it even though we want to be trustees and go private? Ladies and gentlemen, it's a waste of your effing time. No, Trust Christian, that can't be true. I see celebrities wearing fezzes. I see other people, they're giving hints and clues through the media. Ladies and gentlemen, you don't want to know how powerful mind control is, where people know that fringe information is tied to an algorithm. So once you click on it, there's more of a hit now coming to your cell phone because the cell phone's based off of an algorithm. So it's going to keep feeding you more and more information about that. Feeding you information, whether you want it or not. It might, think about it, you can't control what's being dictated to you through your cell phone. So how do you know that the information isn't being given to you in spoon-fed doses? No, Trust Christian, it can't go that deep. We're too early in the internet. It's already there. Companies are being sued. Are you guys manipulating elections? Are you guys manipulating, any information? Are you manipulating narratives? No, Trust Christian. Default, we're just looking at it for entertainment value. Hold on. So your livelihood, financial livelihood, was supposed to go through paperwork, but it didn't put any money in people's pocket. It didn't give them property. Oh, Trust Christian, I know some people, they declared their nationality and then they did it the raw dog way. They went in and they took something. They took something that wasn't theirs. Hold on. This is the polite way that they call it. They call it claiming property. Oh, you want to claim property that you don't even understand jurisdiction. Do you know English? Oh, hold on, let's say that again. Do you know English? There's an English law. You don't know English law, huh? The law that's governing you is the language you speak. So they have an English law. Trust Christian and, nationality. It's fine for me to declare it. It is. But the Declaration of Independence, it protects your rights. It protects people's rights in the states, but it doesn't give them any money. It just protects your rights. Right. Ladies and gentlemen, we could say, if a group of people declared their nationality in unison for one particular reason, such as being an American, well, don't you declare that when you become a resident of a state? And now you can vote in the elections? And they call you a Georgian, or they call you a Californian, or they call you a New Yorker, or they call you a Floridian, or they call you a Texan. You registered to vote. Hold on, Trust Christian. What you mean? I can't vote I can't vote no more, Trust Christian? This is my ancestors died for this, Trust Christian. But then you went into the public, because that's where that vote happens, in the United States jurisdiction, in the public. Hold on, Trust Christian. It can't be that deep. Trust Christian, I can't vote anymore? Psh, man, come on, Trust Christian. For real, I never even voted anyways. But that's cool. I can give that up. We know you can. That's what makes you private. Trust Christian, what do you mean they don't vote? They do. With their dollars. They give money to the candidates. You didn't know that? But who's making your nationality a priority? How you do that? You give them money. Trust Christian, it can't be that deep, man. Or maybe it is that deep. Trust Christian, that's deep. You influence things in politics with money? Yes, people do get sponsored campaigns. Man, I gotta declare my nationality, Trust Christian. It's a lot of people getting slaughtered, and they getting the label of a crayon, Trust Christian. They getting labels. And, Trust Christian, I don't know what to do. I feel inferior. Hold on, let's say that again. I feel inferior. No, hold on, Trust Christian. What you mean? I don't feel inferior. I'm not inferior of anything. But hold on. You think another man is going to give you something because you declared a nationality? Come on, Trust Christian, I'm in America. I'm supposed to be entitled, right? So if I declare my nationality, I'm going to get something. Well, the people that are going through with the fringe groups, Trust Christian, ask the so-called leaders. Hold on, Trust Christian, they is looking good. They looking real good. They driving around in Porsches. They sitting in mansions. Okay, how many people do they employ? Trust Christian, I know a few of them. They got businesses, man. I see the celebrities wearing the fezzes. Okay. They're called celebrities for a reason. They get sponsored clothing too. Alright, Trust Christian, man. Come on, man. Look, I've been going through with this for a period of time now. I found out about the private. And I need to know, is declaring my nationality the first thing I need to do before I get going with, the trustee training? We hear that question. Alright. Come on, I need to know that, because I'm knee deep in this. I'm 6 months in this. I'm 9 months in this. I'm a year into this. I'm 2 years into this. Trust Christian, I've been on this nationality stuff for 5 to 10 years, man. plus years. Ladies and gentlemen, we can sit on the air all day. We brought the fezzes into the room to the private workshops and they didn't show up. Because guess what? They don't fly on airplanes. How are you going to fly commercial? Oh, you didn't know the commercial is the public? Commercial and public mean the same thing. So commercial and public, they don't fly commercial airplanes. Hold on. Did they ride the commercial trains? Okay. So the Vault had to do a workshop in Philadelphia because this so-called fez wearing leader, he doesn't fly on airplanes. Or at that time he didn't. Not only did he not fly on airplanes, what do you want to say about these guys? Trust Christian and Vault, we're not building no goddamn houses from scratch with our hands. We understand finance. There's a thing called leverage. Ladies and gentlemen, it's one of the most powerful words outside of compounding. Compounding and leverage is one of the most valuable words that we're going to go over in trustee training today, is the fact that you have to learn what leverage and compounding is. But people don't want to utilize financial leverage. Why? Because they don't have a financial mind. Did they go to financial school? No, I went and got a trade. I know my trade. So I'm going to let the accountant, I'm going to let the financial guys manage it. Oh yeah, what happened in COVID and around March, April, February? They weren't picking up the phone, were they? Hold on. Your 401k said you can't take your money out now. Hold on. Your IRA said, hey, you can't touch it. The only reason you could touch your money is because COVID times. But other than that, you couldn't touch your money. Hold on. It was yours, but someone else had control of it. Right. That's trusteeship. That's what we go over in trustee training, is you learning trusteeship, control, as opposed to owning something and still not even managing and growing it. 7% returns. Who asked for those type of returns? Nobody. That's why the bank doesn't even give out 7% returns on the public side. Why would they? They give out either none or they're giving you hundreds of plus multiples. Oh, it sounds like that. Think about it. How can you pay back more than 100% of what you owe? People don't even understand that concept. How can you pay back more than what you owe? How did I get more money from the government and have to pay them more money back? Because you didn't understand accounting. And when you look at that 1040 system, they said it's a refund. That means you overpaid. When you get money back, you overpaid. Trust Christian and Vault. Look, we got to declare our nationality so we can be free. Because we're not free. Right now, we're in some form of slavery. We got friends that talked about this BS for years now, talking about they're a slave. Do you not understand that there's a thing called mental servitude? You know about conditioning? You know about social conditioning? You live in 2020, you don't know about social conditioning yet? Do you have a handheld device called a cell phone? You know how many people actually don't even sleep more than 10 feet away from their cell phone anymore? 10 feet's an exaggeration. 5 is actually more to be accurate. At this very moment, whether you listen to this episode years into the future of 2020, people are sleeping 5 feet away from their cell phone. It's not even 5 feet away. You don't even want to know how close people are sleeping to their cell phone. And you think the cell phone company doesn't know through some readers how close a human body is to it? People go to the bathroom using their cell phone. Appreciate Brooklyn for tuning in live, listening to replay. Shout out to Brooklyn. Brooklyn, New York. That's what that said. Declare your nationality. Trust Christian, I'm years into this, man. I'm trying to be free, Trust Christian. Like, I don't want to be a slave. Mentally. Oh, okay. Well, own nothing, control everything. Anything you own, you're liable for. Simple. You can't own anything. You don't even own your body. Your body is a vessel. It's a tool. You can make it strong or it can get weak. It's a tool. It's a muscle. It's like a yard. If you don't keep it up, it's going to look bad. You got to make your so-called body look good. Trust Christian, but declaring my nationality You know, I know I'm not a crayon anymore. Okay, that's fair. I don't want to be called that. I don't have an explanation for my ancestry yet because I didn't invest. The family trust didn't invest. The family estate didn't invest. Your family, your mother, your father, your cousins, your uncles, they didn't put money together to research their ancestry through the Census Bureau. Did they do their research through the Census Bureau yet? You know you can do. Most of people's ancestors filled out the Census Bureau every 10 years, every 20 years. You can track back, but how many people did that? Man, that sounds like an arduous task, Trust Christian. I'm trying to get a check right now. Exactly. That's what the vault knows that these other guys don't. Is they want you to spend money with them. First of all, you got to pay for this so-called proprietary process to learn how to declare your nationality. It's not overly public on the internet because it's fringe. It's a minute part of the internet. And it's taken quite a few people down a bad road. People say, "Oh, I'm going down a foxhole. I'm going down a foxhole. I got control of my birth certificate." And we're going to ask you one question: did that make you any richer? Are you rich? No. Did you get a free house? No. You barely got free air, clean air. Trust Christian in the vault. Look, man. I see this group over here. It's a group of Negroes that are they got their own Wakanda. Oh, in America, Trust Christian, they got their own Wakanda. Okay, and Trust Christian, they're not being bothered by outsiders. Okay, we hear that. So okay, ladies and gentlemen, you guys don't know how strong our mentors were. Because our mentors would say, "Hey, look, we never even said nothing that stupid to a mentor." Our mentors were smart. They would say to you, "Hey, there was this group of people. The government came and surrounded their property. They had private property outside on it. The government, there was these are called military officers. We're not going to say they were the police. They were military officers that were on the outside of the property. And these people, oh man, we got to remember the name of it. We'll get the name of it at one point. We'll share it with you all. Where, these people were hiding in the house and they had guns. Government told them to come out. They didn't come out. Now, this was a group of, maybe we'll say a family of 9 plus, could have been 20 plus people. And they all had guns. They were heavily armed. The government, they surrounded them. The military did. And they died. Maybe not all of them, but they were surrounded by heavy military. Now, if you don't have a military to fight with another military, it doesn't sound like you're going to make it. So the best thing is to have allies with a good military until you can build one. So, Trust Christian and the Vote, we took that as wise sage advice. A, don't become an adverse party to the government. Why? Because they got some big guns. They'll surround your property. And they'll tell you to come out. And if you don't, you just better hope it doesn't get to the point where they exercise their big missiles and their big guns. And they blow you to smithereens. Because you don't have any big guns. You don't have any big missiles. That's why the Indians on the reservations, they don't have big guns. They don't have big missiles. They're not going to do anything. They're going to get mowed over if it came down to it. But they stay in their territory. They stay in their jurisdiction. And when they come out, they know that they're in a different jurisdiction. Wouldn't you know that if you left your safe haven? Right. But the so-called fringe group, the Moors, they're in the so-called abandoned territory. And all they think they need to do is declare a nationality, and they're going to be looked at as some sovereign citizen, some independent citizen, or some non-citizen, some non-resident alien. Oh, I'm not utilizing the social. Guess what? Quakers don't either. Neither do the Amish. Are you going to build your own house with your own hands? Women? Men? No. You love the dystopia. You love it. You love that you can use leverage. You can say you own a house, but you don't. You have a mortgage. You, your debtor, your entity, the so-called social, it has a debt on it. And guess what? In this particular jurisdiction, you can go to jail for debts. Right? Right. Shout out to West Palm, Florida for tuning in live, listen, replay. Shout out to West Palm. Got the rich areas. Shout out to West Palm. But it's interesting to see that people don't think about that. People waste hundreds of dollars. They waste hundreds of hours. People travel across the country to go see these fringe group leaders, do these meetings. These guys, they're paying for hundreds of dollars on the internet. But then you got these guys say, oh, we got a community. The Wakanda community is private, when we already know it's a trust document. For all you all that want to say this, we already know that the trust document is what they're using. They're utilizing a trust document to say that they're their own independent state. Okay, so if you didn't know that, you're really not private because you got because you declared your nationality. You're not private. You got to be in a proper position. You got to be in a estate position. But not all estates are in trust. Oh, okay. Trust Christian, ain't nobody tell it like you tell it. We ain't heard it like this before. You telling all they secrets. Well, that's why they charging me $300 and $400 and $500. Plus, they telling me I could discharge debt when I'm a free and sovereign citizen. Or I'm a non-resident alien. You think you gonna walk around in somebody's territory that has satellites and drones flying over it? When the government owns the air over 2,000 feet, you think you're gonna walk around in their territory and you think you're not gonna be accounted for? That means you are a sheep. Now you can be an awake sheep, but you're a sheep that's being counted. They got satellites looking down right now, counting sheep. You think they don't? Do you really think that the government doesn't have technology to look down on how many infrared bodies are walking around in any particular jurisdiction? Well, guess what? We're gonna give y'all the sad but begotten truth. You all created that technology and gave it to the government. Who do you think develops the technology? The private people, the investors, the inventors, the creators. And who do they sell it to? The government. You all did that. Private people, business people. So hold on, Trust Christian, you just gave me the biggest mind fuck. What is going on here? How do we live in the private and not do business with the government? Every president that tells you they don't have to show their returns, it's because they're in the private. The only thing they show you is what they want you to see. They're in the private. Oh man, Trust Christian, this is getting deep today. This is our episode I gotta go back and listen to. And share it with my friends, because we think that we gonna be free or become freer when we declare a nationality. Declare your nationality, sure. But we met the French group leaders. We would love to tell you we see a Fez in the room when we're having our high net worth investor meetings. And maybe we don't see them because those people are in Morocco traditionally or in some type of Arab country. But as it stands right now in the United States, we don't see too many Fez wearers in the billionaires room or in the $30+ million room. We don't see them in there. When we have workshops, we see them in our workshops, but we don't see them in the billionaires room with other cultures. Declare your nationality. Trust Christian. Look, I don't want to be a part of the control system. I don't want to be a part of it. Here we go. This is what control system looks like, ladies and gentlemen, for all you all that went through public school. A, it looks like public school. Please be very aware. That's controlled knowledge that was given to the government through an endowment, through a private family foundation from J.D. Rockefeller. Created the General Education Board and Friends, and now it's the Board of Education. So you got a public school education. Okay. You got a public school education. You got to get past that one moment. You got to let that education go for all its work. Why? Because it was free. Hold on. What do you mean, Trust Christian? It can't be free? Why can't it be free? Hold on. What do you mean? Here we go to the next one. It's because you think that you went to a public school, which was a free education. You think it's of any value? Trust Christian, I learned how to read and write and comprehend. Free, dumb, is not free. People want your freedom, ladies and gentlemen, in the United States. They want your freedom. Women, since the women in America feel like they're being deprived, there are many women outside the United States that are really being deprived. It's women's suffrage around the world. But they're being deprived. Freedom's not free. So, you got a free education. You thought that it was supposed to be free. And at the end of the day, you got to pay. You got to pay to play. Declaring nationality on the public side just says, hey, I'm this nationality. But when it comes to putting money in your pocket, helping people build vast estates, it didn't. People end up doing a bunch of paperwork, because that's what it's called. They call it paperwork. And then they find out that the whole game has been trusteeship when they get in trustee training. That's what they figure out. They go through trustee training, and they come out the other end a trustee. We could call them a robot, but they're a trustee. They're like everybody else in the private sector now. Whereas if you don't invest in your education, it's because you went to public school and you think education's free. The family estate doesn't think that they need to put any money together and invest in somebody going to school or getting a private education. Contract law is a private education. People don't have a family lawyer, so they don't have a go-to person they can say, this is the person that's going to draft all of our family estates being in the same position, the proper position. Private family estates. Declare your nationality. People aren't trying to live on reservations, ladies and gentlemen. We already know this. We don't see the feds wears too many of them in the American ones. Not to say they don't come from maybe out of another country, but they're definitely, and we sit in them. When they're having real workshops, ladies and gentlemen, not through Zoom calls, they're actually, they're not in the room. And we're talking about the domestic United States ones that are saying if you declare your nationality, wear your fez, you'll be under some invisible cloak of diplomatic immunity, which is just straight up a lie. And they've been putting in a lot of years, they put in a lot of time, people have, with this information. And they just say, I don't want to be a part of the system. Ladies and gentlemen, you're free to leave. You don't have to live in the United States. You can go live on the reservation if you want. Work it out. Figure it out. Trust Christian, I'm trying to enjoy the rags and the riches. The rags is the system, right? The riches is what came of it. Right? Alright, I contacted Trust Christian and Revolt. I hit him with an email. I said, okay, I need to... Look, we could go to the email right now. They declared their nationality, they're still broke. They didn't declare their nationality, they're still broke. I'm out on my ass, Trust Christian. I don't have any money. You talk about the private sector, so that means, compensation for compensation. We could get graphic. We really could. We could get graphic of what women are offering the Vault and Trust Christian to get the information. Do we need to get graphic today? Okay. Trust Christian, because I got kids. I need to get this information. I don't want to put my kids in the system. We're not even going to go anywhere with the vaccinations today. Trust Christian, if I declare my nationality, that means that I'm a part of a private group, and we don't have to do that. We don't have to do vaccinations. You're right. The Amish don't. The Quakers don't. Well, what about Wakanda, Trust Christian? We're trying to utilize the Wakanda rules for why we don't need it, why we don't want to take it. We're against tyranny. That's great. We hear that. I mean, whenever someone is trying to do something against your will and you didn't do anything wrong other than you being you, and guess what? Humans do catch colds. So if you're trying to prevent me from catching a cold in the future, you, against your will, against one of the constitutional laws that are in place. One of the constitutional laws. Remember the religious one? Oh no, we heard that this one state, they taking away the religious part of it. That's because they're in the public. Or where are you? Well, Trust Christian, if I declare my nationality, that's going to put me in the private. No, it does not. Trust Christian, I just don't want to be known as slave property. I want to be known as a human, have human dignity. I don't want to have a knee put on my neck. Declaring your nationality. Did the Moors sue the government for the people that have been slaughtered that look like them? Do the culture, does the nationality create a lawsuit and win it? We usually don't see that. We see the family of the victim suing municipal jurisdictions. They're trying to sue people in their private capacity. Ladies and gentlemen, we done seen it all. We done seen the Moors put liens on judges. Y'all new to this. We seen the Moors put liens on judges. And guess what? Those Moors weren't leaving out the house anymore because they thought that the cops were after them because they were paranoid at that point. Yes, when you put a lien on a judge, when you put a lien on a municipal officer inside of a municipality, you say that they owe you a debt. You say that they owe the family estate a debt. You just created an adverse party. You just created an adverse position in the municipality. You just created a conflict of interest. Why? Because you're in the middle of a lawsuit. You're in the middle of a creditor-debtor collection act practice. But oh no, Trust Christian, they put a lien on the house. They put a lien on everything. Don't even know how to spell lien. Don't even know the definitions of lien, whether it's modern or old. Peace to Broward for tuning in live. Broward County, Florida for tuning in live, listening to replay. Feel free to type into the chat wherever you're listening in live or from the replay if you're listening. Y'all don't even know the stories. How sad they sound. We sat there with them. Oh man, we got this property on adverse possession. Oh man, Trust Christian, well, hold on, you are a national, but you got it. We got to get the national passport, Trust Christian. We really got to get the passport with the national one, Trust Christian. Hey, doofus. Hey, doofus ass. That's what we're going to call all of you. Guess what, doofus ass? There's still a RFID chip in it. Doofus ass. Oh, Trust Christian, what do you mean? I still got the diplomatic one, right? I'm able to travel, right? But I didn't give the social. Oh, you think we don't hear this? You don't think? Guess what? There are guys over the internet selling passports without socials. You think they're not doing it? Hold on. Do Quakers Get passports without socials? Yeah. Do you think they paid $300 for a course for that? Well, Trust Christian, you know you gotta pay to play. You gotta pay to get the information. Right. What about the Amish? Did they sell a course to their own people? Their own nationality? What do you mean, Trust Christian? They sold it. They sold me something that I didn't have. But they're not doing that on the reservation. They're not doing that in other cultures. But the Moors, oh, Trust Christian, look, man, you gotta. The game is meant to be sold, not to be told. You know. Oh, okay. Okay, you got to get the national passport because that one supposedly might not have a RFID chip in it. Yeah, right, ladies and gentlemen. If the United States is issuing a passport, they putting RFID chips in them, ladies and gentlemen. But if you weren't poor, if you weren't broke, you would know that you can go buy a citizenship from another country. Those are the rooms Trust Christian and Vault puts our trustees in. You go learn that you can do citizenship by investment. You learn that you can go get a passport and go invest in other countries and get a citizenship. You didn't know that though. You so poor, your information is so poor from the Moors that they didn't tell you could go buy. Well, Trust Christian, I'm not Guyanese. Trust Christian, I'm not this. I'm not New Zealand. I'm not I'm not from Switzerland. Trust Christian, but I can go get a Switzerland citizenship for $1 million. Trust Christian, I don't know when I'm gonna make $1 million. That could be a while, you know. Exactly, because the Moors aren't teaching you how to make no money. So they don't want you to go over there and get the $1 million citizenship. It's available. You can Google it like you Google everything else. You can Google that. Citizenship by investment. Alright, Trust Christian, you gave a lot of game on this episode, man. The Moors ain't really kicking it like that. I've been under the days for a minute, you know. I needed to know. I knew something was wrong. And so now I know that it is wrong. Yeah. But how many people are focused on own nothing, control everything? Trust Christian, own nothing, control everything. Who came up with that line? Rockefeller. You don't need to own it, but you can control it. Declare your nationality. Declare your nationality. There was this line they used to say back in the day. If somebody knew it, type into the chat. They was like, declare, like, it's like, the something of the day is to declare your nationality, or declare your nationality is the work you're supposed to be doing of the day. And then what happened? So you declared your nationality, and then you did what? Did you go back to work? Well, Trust Christian, you know, I'm not trying to use the social on a job. Hold on, you're a Moor. You're the so-called surfer of the seas. You know, did you do the history on these people? They were Berbers. They were, you know, sea travelers. They were slaveholders too. Did you know that? They were slaveholders. The ones that were actually in Morocco and traveling northern Africa, they were slaveholders. Okay, yeah, they were. Okay. Well, Trust Christian, it's the dark skin and the light skin, and yeah. We that sound like Willie Lynch, right? Right. Okay. Right. We heard these poems for mind control. Okay. So what was the poem that they gave out in the organization called Declare Your Nationality of the day? Where then they give you these pictures, somebody stepping in the water, they're holding a woman, oh, she's been knocked out. I mean, think about all these stories you hear. You heard a lot of goddamn stories because you heard the stories. But what happened to you paying your bills? Getting some money to pay your bills. We'll get to the money. First, you got to declare your nationality. We're going to get to the money, though. The money's not first. Oh, hold on. Didn't it take gas to get to the temple? It took gas to get to the temple, right? Hold on. Trust Christian, I took the bus. Okay. Did you pay for it? Nah, Trust Christian, it was free, like the public school education. Right. And that's why you're not a millionaire. That's why you're not a billionaire. That's why you don't change lives. Because there's no such thing as something for nothing. There is no such thing as freedom's free. That's poverty mentality. Okay. Trust Christian, well, that's where I come from, Trust Christian, so how would I know any better? Well, they say when a student is ready, the teacher appears. You have to be seeking. You know, a lot of people like to quote the Bible. You have to be seeking, student. You have to be seeking. If you're not seeking, how will you find? Okay, Trust Christian, so you saying I gotta stop all this stuff for the nationality today because you're basically telling me it's not gonna put no money in my pocket. Ladies and gentlemen, we don't need to respond with an answer when we can ask you a question. Did it do that? Well, Trust Christian, we didn't get to discharge yet. Hold on, did you not hear those like fringe type of thought processes? They roll in the same system, the same patterns. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, we ain't even seen the ones not wearing the feds discharge. They not doing it. We done sat around them. We done broke bread with them. We done shared meals. We done had coffee. We done had tea. See, the guys that you can't touch or can't see like Trust Christian over the vault on the internet, guess what? We already broke bread with those guys. We broke bread with the ones that want to show their face. We did workshops with the ones that want to show their face. But then some of those leaders, they don't travel on public airplanes. Because remember, they're in the private, they declare their nationality, you know. But then you got the guys that say, oh, we selling the course on no social passport. Oh, okay. But did they skip over the RFID chip, or they only told you that it was only in the domestic one, the citizen one? That's what they told you. Or they didn't even tell you that. No, they didn't tell you that, Trust Christian. Okay. Trust Christian is real deep. Man, I gotta stop all of that now. Ladies and gentlemen, trustees are the ones that made money during the pandemic. While the people that had jobs, they got unemployment and they got stimulus check. That's what happened. The trustees have no choice but to grow the family estates. Why? Because they're sitting on assets, not on liabilities. If you're sitting on liabilities, people are further underwater than they've ever been. And it's a sad but true statement. You really serious? Why are people not paying their rent if they're not underwater? Why are people not paying their mortgages if they're not underwater? Well, Trust Christian there because they ain't got a job. They on hold right now. What about your savings? Hold on, you expect me to go into my savings after the government said that the businesses are to not have employees right now and I had a job? What about the trustees? They couldn't say that. The trustees, what do they say? They're on the line every Sunday for trustee training. They're doing consultations every week. Hold on, Trust Christian. They still got a phone to make a phone call for trustee training in the pandemic? They making phone calls? They going and open up bank accounts? They getting money? Hold on, trustees are getting money in the private sector's getting money during the pandemic, Trust Christian, and the vote? We were getting stimulus check. We were getting unemployment. That's going to run out at one point, right? Trustees, they were supposed to grow assets out of thin air. And they did. Super proud of all the trustees that stepped up, that they followed the lead of a leader. Because a leader says, I don't want you to walk behind me. I want you to walk beside me. So everyone's a trustee that's a trustee. You didn't walk behind Trust Christian. Well, Trust Christian, you the guru, you the hero, you know everything. What did they do? They said, Trust Christian, I need to know how to protect my family estate. I'm going to stand up right now when people are sitting down. I'm going to keep marching forward towards my goals. I'm not going to take a step back. People in the pandemic, they took a step back. Declaring your nationality is not going to make it easier now. They took a step back in life. I can't believe you giving it to me the hard way. I got the stimulus check. It don't look that bad. Guess what? My credit score is still up. Okay. Your credit score. See how on the public side it always goes back to me, my, and I? Or on the private side, it's the, it, the family, estate. We can sit on here all day with y'all, ladies and gentlemen. That's what we do at the vault. Because when the student's ready to teach up here, when you're seeking, you're supposed to find it. That's a law. But oh no, Trust Christian, sometimes the seeking take a little bit longer than the finding. Of course. They didn't want to tell you that part of it in the Bible. They didn't want to tell you that part of it, that the seeking's longer than the finding. I got tired, Trust Christian. I needed to sit down for a second. I was getting tired, man. This thing got me going through hoops. I've been trying to declare my nationality. I've been with these people for years, man. And we still ain't come up the way I thought we was going to be. Trust Christian, I'm not trying to take no vaccines. I'm trying to be a part of this group. We would call them something y'all don't even want to know, because they call them terrorist groups. Whether y'all know it or not, they call them terrorist groups. And that's why we stay away from it at the vault. And we say, trust Christian, own and control everything. Appreciate everybody for tuning in live, listening to the replay. Feel free to type into the chat where you're listening from. But we appreciate everybody for tuning in live, listening to the replay. We already know what it is at the vault. And that's why we wanted to address this question, because we can address this question. There's a lot of people that are on the internet that are of this thought process or persuasion. And we know that all they want to do is they want to be free. But how you gonna be free if you ain't got the means to be free? Which means the finance, the leverage. Why aren't you using money as a mechanism? You're trying to utilize your nationality. You're trying to use white privilege, as they call it in the black community. They call it white privilege. Oh, it's white privilege now. No, it doesn't work that way in the States. Guess what? They're black billionaires. They're black billionaires. They're all different types of cultures that are wealthy in the United States. So what makes you think by declaring nationality by default? Now, just Christian, the United States stole the land. You're right. They wrote it in a goddamn book. They wrote it in a book. They got it in a book that they stole the land. They're not giving it up. They got guns, they got missiles, and you're not going to get it back. That's why they got reservations now. So now you don't have to worry about getting it back. You're on a reservation if you're a true Native American. Otherwise, we have citizens in our territory. We're operating in business, not personal. They wrote it in a book. They let you read it. What are you going to do? Well, trust Christian, you're saying like there's a big system in place right here. And I'm just trying to free myself of its encumbrances. I went on the national debt clock. It said that every citizen in the public sector is worth a debt. Well, hey, look at the student loan culture. They finally had to pay for an education and they don't want to pay it back. So this is how you know. This is what you learn in trustee training. You learn that public school education is not a correlation with success. You learn that degrees do not mean that you are successful. You know that in trustee training. That doesn't mean that we don't send our children or trustees to college to get degrees. That is not a full correlation with success. Not a 100% correlation. And for that reason, our trustees have to be made aware of it. Why? Because you are a leader. We hired those people. Who created the college school system? The same guy that created the public school system. Sounds like he's pretty much in control. J.D. Rockefeller, and he's dead. Oh, how many colleges did he start? He started Morehouse, or gave it the major funding. Spelman, Chicago, Rockefeller University, and over 30 different universities. The education was paid for in advance. Did he train you to be a trustee? Did the system train you to be a trustee? J.D. Rockefeller has the Rockefeller Foundation. That's in trust. That's a trusteeship. That's the foundation that gave the money to all the schools. See? He's not training you to be a trustee. No, they're not training you to be a trustee. They're training you to work for the trust. They're training you to work for the family trust. See, you all want to be trustees. That's what you're going to do. You're going to employ people finally. Oh shit, Trust Christian. I'm finally going to employ people? I thought that was criminal. I thought you talk about employees, Trust Christian. We're going to have to employ people? Yeah, it's called a job. They got to hire. You don't build the house from scratch. You hire people to do that. The family estate hires hands to do that. You use financial leverage. So what could be one of the most important things? Getting a private education and a sound financial education. Whether you know it or not. It's not programming. Oh, Trust Christian, I gotta teach my kids coding. I gotta teach them all type of stuff. Did you teach them finance? There's savages out here, ladies and gentlemen. There are people that are creating programs to steal your money, to steal the family estate money. They're creating programs. Do banks get money stolen from by hackers? Yes, there are people that are stealing. So you have to be able to protect it. And how do you do that? You have to not maybe do it all yourself. Maybe you might have to hire the right people. Oh, okay, Trust Christian. How many people are on the private side of the bank? Oh, Trust Christian, they told me there's a money limit. I can't come over in the private sector of the bank until I got my money right. My nationality didn't get me in the private sector of the bank, though. Right. They don't want to go to the private sector of the bank. Well, man, Trust Christian, I went in there. They told me I gotta have $20 million in the bank account. They told me I gotta have $5 million minimum to open up the bank account. And that's why you fully ain't in the private sector. And that's why you gotta invest in your private education. Because you're right. It doesn't always take $5 or $20 million to get an account. But because you don't know how to communicate with that type of private institution, your nationality didn't teach you that, guess what? You're not going to do it. So until you know how to do it, investing in your education with the vault or otherwise, there's no, oh, I'm going to discharge the debt. When you have certain amounts of money, the bank just gives you their money. You don't need to use your money. Remember, in the fringe group, they told you about fractional reserve banking. They told you about hypothecation, right? We'll say it real slow for the newcomers. Hypothecation. 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 They didn't tell you about fractional reserve banking? So you saying if my family estate have a certain amount of money in the bank, we don't even touch our money, but we going private, Trust Christian. We listening to you. We gonna open up the private bank, Trust Christian. We got enough. We gonna get enough money, and then we gonna do our own lending. But hold on, the bank is willing to give you money if you put money in the bank. But they was paying 0.003 interest on the public side, not on the private side though. Right. Ladies and gentlemen, we live it. It's a lifestyle. It's the vote. Trustees have gone to high net worth events with us before. We don't even want to brag and say we paid for trustees to go to high net worth conferences. It's really embarrassing to even say that. We're not. So are you going to pay to go to a high net worth conference? Since you're in the private sector and your nationality now got you some white privilege? No. Because we don't see them in the room. They're not wearing dashikis. They're not wearing any of that. They're wearing a business suit. The women are wearing business clothes because we're in there doing business. Appreciate everybody for tuning in live, listening to the replay. Shout out to all you all that have tuned in, listened to this episode all the way to the end. We know it was definitely an hour plus. We just appreciate everybody for making it a point to invest in their education, and that's listening. That's lending your ear. You got to invest in some time. And sometimes in an investment you can lose and you can stand to gain. Well, what did you gain from this particular episode, which is episode 271, Declare Your Nationality? Because last time we checked, ladies and gentlemen, we still are looking forward to seeing you in those business environments. This is not to not see people in these business environments. There are people of all nationalities in these business environments. But at the end of the day, it's business, not personal. Trust Christian, own nothing, control everything. Christian@trustchristian.com is the email. Once again, it's Christian@trustchristian.com. Look forward to hearing from you all. Enjoy the rest of your day. Peace and blessings.